But that's great. So happy to be here, folks. Happy to be sharing this rental market update. This is something we're going to continue to do. And my plan is the following. I'm going to present some of the major markets that I know a lot of you are into, the markets that I also operate in, and that Visture Property Group and Visture Property Management manages in these markets. And I'm always flabbergasted. I'm always kind of super impressed how bang on these statistics are, because I'm in these markets. I mean, we manage hundreds of units in these markets, so I know them like the back of my hands, and these numbers are really, really, really good. So I have a lot of faith in these numbers, and I'm excited to take you through them. So we're going to start with Peterborough. I'm going to put up the chat. Let me just put it up here. Chat, there it is. I'm going to put up the chat right here, and please jump in with any questions to a particular market, or if you have a particular market you want to see, then put it up, and I'll do my very best. I'm going to try to get through this in about 15-20 minutes. I don't want to keep us here all night because we're already over time, and Patrick hasn't done any rants about Trudeau yet, so we don't want to keep him too much. So here we go. All right, let's start with Peterborough. And again, I'm going to cover all the major markets I know you guys are in. So Peterborough, some very interesting things happening in Peterborough. Hamilton for Colleen. I'll get to Hamilton, Colleen, no problem. So let's look at Peterborough. So here's what's happening, and I want you to focus on the charts that I'm focused on. Here we go. The red is 4-bedroom houses. The blue is 3-bedroom houses. The gray is 3-bedroom upper units, and the green is 2-bedroom lower units. So what's interesting is you can see since the beginning of the year, we've really had an uptrend here in 4-bedroom houses. They're going up. 3-bedroom houses are going up. 3-bedroom uppers, you can see have had a little tick down. But I got to tell you, these numbers are really, really, like, this is high. It's not ticking down because there's a downturn in the market, especially in Peterborough. This is ticking down because we're at the tippy top of the market, and we're pushing the market to the next level. I mean, listen, ladies and gentlemen, a 3-bedroom upper unit for $2,550, that's where we're at right now. That is fantastic. That is phenomenal. 2-bedroom units, you're looking at just below $2,000, and I would agree with that. One of the things I find is that 2-bedroom units in Peterborough typically go from $1,800 to $2,200. That's kind of the range, $2,000 being the average. But there's no doubt if you have a good 2-bedroom unit, you're going to be pushing that $2,100, $2,200, no doubt about it. So recently, Colleen and Brent will know this. We just put up a 3-bedroom unit on the market, got it rented within a couple, like 10 to 14 days or something like that. And we, I think we got 2,400, if I remember right, but it had very, very few renovations. It wasn't totally updated, and we still got 2,400 for it. So the market is really, really good from that perspective. So that is Peterborough. You can see it's definitely an uptrend on the bigger properties right now, and a big reason for that is because they had come down quite a bit. You can see here at the end in November of 2023, they were up here at $3,000. Then they went all the way down to 2,600, and now they're on their way back up. So some of these units had come down, now they're on their way back up, but things are quite strong in Peterborough, and things have been going in the right direction. Let's look next at Oshawa. So Oshawa, just gonna load this up now. And what you're gonna find absolutely fascinating is, I'm just gonna refresh and reboot my screen here, is you're gonna notice changes in the different markets. Like, one market's been growing, one market's been really pushing strong on the rents, other markets, not so much. So let me try to load up Oshawa again. We might be having there it is. Here's Oshawa, upper 3s, lower 2s. So here's Oshawa. You can tell a little bit of a different story than Peterborough. The curves are a lot smoother than Peterborough. That's because it's a bigger market. So as a result of that, you're not going to have the peaks and the valleys that you would quite have in Peterborough. So you can see here, we are kind of at the bottom of the trough here. But overall, since 2023, we're still up significantly here. We're still up. The rents are still up almost 8 or so percent, 9% since 2023 in the last year. So things are good on the 4 bedrooms. in homes, 3-bedroom homes, same thing. They're at the bottom of the trough, but they're starting to go back up. So the trend is in the right direction. That part's nice. 3-bedroom uppers, you could see here, again, bottom of the trough. And what's funny about Oshawa is essentially all of the different asset types, from 4-bedroom homes to 3-bedroom homes to 3-bedroom uppers to 2-bedroom lowers, are all in the same boat, which is they're at the bottom of their trough and they're now starting to pick up speed. That indicates there's going to be a stronger market into the future than there is today. So the upside rent potential is very good in the Oshawa market. That's what I'm seeing from this. Okay, so 3-bedroom uppers, 25-22, 3-bedroom lowers, 19-10. What do you notice right away, ladies and gentlemen? If you haven't picked up on it, okay, if you're an investor around here, I want you to see rents in Peterborough stronger than Oshawa, both classes, 2 bedrooms and 3 bedrooms. Rents are the place where it looks like, I think 4-bedroom homes are stronger in Oshawa. Most of us don't invest in 4-bedroom homes, so Peterborough is a stronger rental market than Oshawa from that perspective. Let me answer Brent's question. What does the CMH? Go ahead, Kev.
No, I was just going to say the when you look at what's happening with 3-bedroom, for example, I mean, aside from it being the extra room, but the demand is stronger. You know, my take on some of it is just because of the affordability, rental affordability. You get 3 bedrooms or even 4-bedroom, you can then get roommates and get other people in to share the load. What's your thoughts?
Well, I 100% agree with you. And then that is actually the problem with single family homes. Now, I personally, just my own experience, having had thousands of tenants over the years, I don't like when my rent is so high that family can't afford it. They have to bring in call it sub renters, call it sublease, call it whatever you want. I don't like that. That's risky to me. So I prefer to push the market to the top of what that family and that renter profile can afford, but not higher. Because when I go higher, it's an asymmetrical risk reward ratio, which means I'm taking a higher risk for just a little amount of money, and I don't like it. So that's my opinion on that.
Yeah, and I want to expand on that because it's worth noting is that when you get into those scenarios of affordability and then you end up with 2, 3, 4 different people living in it, it's harder on the property as well. Your wear and tear goes up dramatically. Not everybody is aligned. You know, you don't often get 3 or 4 people that have the same, you know, follow the same rules and living conditions. So it's just also something to consider that you end up with higher maintenance on a move out, for example, because of the wear and tear.
100%. Good point. Now, I want to come back to Brent's question. Being the engineer, I love that he picks up on all the details. It's my favorite thing in the world about you, Brent. Which is this right here. So you can see it says, what does CMHC average rent mean? And I think, are you talking about this right here, Brent? Or are you talking about this here? This here. That's what you're talking about. Yeah, got it. So this is what CMHC, in this case, you look, I just turned it off and had no bearing on the numbers. These are CMHC average rent and what they publish in terms of their averages. I turned it off, so it's got no bearing.
Keep it turned off. You know, CMHC average rents, they take everything that's possibly renting, including dog houses in the backyard if they're over 100 square feet. Like it's CMHC numbers are really always skewed. I don't like the accuracy of them, but that's just me.
But I will say this though, because Brent, I thought this is what you're asking, and it's worth noting, is every market, there's a certain percentage of this data that comes from rental surveys, which is first account rental surveys. And then there's a certain amount of data that comes from MLS. Now, typically the smaller the market, the more is going to come from rental service, the less going to come from MLS. The bigger the market, i.e. Toronto, more of it's going to come from MLS. And by the way, these numbers are 100% bang on. So we just, to go get these statistics, some of the markets, we have to do a lot of rental survey. And I'll give you a perfect example because let's talk about Aurelia next. So look at Aurelia, 61% from rental survey versus Oshawa that was only 49% from rental survey. And you could see the jaggedness, not the jaggerness. That's Steven Jagger. That's different. This is the jaggedness. That's my dad joke for the evening. See the jaggedness in this chart? That's just because it's Aurelia. It's a much smaller market than Oshawa. But you could see here, I made it big. Like, check it out. You notice the 4 bedrooms in Aurelia are worth more than the 4 bedrooms in Oshawa. The 3 bedrooms are interesting here in Aurelia, where they were really, really high. They had kind of, look at this in this is in 2023. It kind of bottomed out here at 2610 in 2023. Then they made this really crazy ramp up to 3400 and then back down. The reason again for this crazy peaks and valleys and the swings is because there's fewer of them. Okay, in a place like Aurelia compared to Oshawa. So if you look at 3 bedroom houses, 2710. You look at 3 bedroom uppers, 2736. I can attest these are good numbers. You could, if you have a really good 3 bedroom upper, you could easily get 25, 26, 2700 bucks in Aurelia because there's not a lot of inventory in Aurelia. That's what makes it a good rental market if you own there. 2 bedrooms, there's a lot more of those on the market. You can see a much smoother curve here, and you could see the price is 1844. So that is Aurelia. Now let me go, because I know I have some certain people here that are interested in Aurelia. I'm going to dive a little deeper into these and show you the distribution. So you could see, this is what's important, is you could see how in 3 bedrooms you can get anywhere from 2400 all the way up to 3400. But the majority of 3 bedrooms are renting somewhere between 2,500 and 3,000, with the average being kind of 2,800. On a 4 bedroom, you're getting anywhere from 3,000 all the way up to 3,500. There's quite a few renting at 3,500. So the curve and the skew of the data pushes towards that right-hand side of the curve. What this means, though, when you see this in the data, anytime I'm presenting rental market statistics, what I want you to notice is anytime you see a curve like this, where the curve is to the right, you notice how like the peak of the curve is more to the right-hand side of the graph. This means the upside rent potential is lower. What I mean by that is you're not going to push this market. Like, if you get a 4 bedroom in Aurelia, don't think you're going to rent it. Like, there's very few renting for $4,000 because there's a very short tail to this graph, and a lot of them are over here. So that's important for you to realize if you're trying to push the market with like a luxury rental, just as an example. Okay, that's Aurelia. I want to cover Barrie. Let's cover Barrie next. So here's Barrie. So interestingly enough, Barrie's going through is kind of like the opposite of what's happening in Peterborough. And Barrie's a fantastic rental market, as you guys know. But Barrie's, if you look here at the tail end of 2023, 4 bedrooms renting for $3,281, and they're down to 3,000, 3050. Look at 3 bedrooms, 2708. 3 bedroom uppers, 2508. Quite stable. You can look at the 3 bedrooms, very, very stable. 2 bedrooms, very, very stable. So 2 bedrooms are at essentially 1,900. 3 bedrooms are essentially at 2,500. 3 bedroom houses are at 2,700. 4 bedroom houses are at 3,050, roughly. One thing you notice is that these numbers, again, compared to Aurelia, they're lower. Compared to Peterborough, they're lower. So just keep that in mind. That's there's a lot more rentals in these markets, and you can tell the absorption is very different. So that's Barrie. Next, one second. Interesting. 3 bedroom upper with a 2 bedroom lower, you'll get more rent in Aurelia than Barrie. Actually, Brent, not strange at all. Not strange at all. We've seen this for a long time. That's been the trend, and which is why Aurelia is one of the top towns in REIN's reports for a long time. And that's exactly what brought me to Aurelia versus Barrie 10 plus years ago, is exactly that, because you can get more rent out of Aurelia and you're going to pay less for that property. A duplex in Aurelia is going to run you, call it 700, 750, 650. A duplex in Barrie is going to run you 850, 900, 950. So, it's, that these are exactly the decisions. And Brent, I know you have quite a bit in Aurelia, I'll just say. So it's interesting, but you've seen this trend yourself. Okay. Moving on. Let's go to Hamilton. Hamilton. Hamilton's interesting. I haven't been to Hamilton in a while. So look at this. So 4 bedroom houses, 3,500. Um, 3 bedroom houses, 2,924. 3 bedroom uppers, 2,558. 2 bedroom lowers, 1,932, essentially. So pretty good rents. Again, very stable, very, very stable. These are big markets. Hamilton's a huge market. But I want to dig into Hamilton a little bit because I want to dig into the distribution curve, which is this. So here's 3 bedroom uppers. 3 bedroom uppers will go from 2,200 all the way to 3,000. There's quite a few there in that 25 to 3,000. So if you have a nice, and that's a nice bell curve right there. If you have a really nice 3 bedroom with some premium elements to it, there's no reason you can't get 25, 26, 27, 28, up to $3,000. 7.3% of the inventory rents for $3,000. And so that's important to know. 2 bedroom lowers, the curve is from 1,600 up to a comfortable 2,200. So 2 bedrooms in, that's interesting. With the average kind of being right here, 1,900, 2,000. Yeah, interesting. Pretty tight curve on the 2 bedrooms, but the 3 bedrooms, there's room to run there, is what I would say. Colleen, I think you were asking about Hamilton. All right, good questions. Let's go to Belleville. Someone else asked me about Belleville. Now, Belleville is a really small market, folks. The person I was asking about Belleville is Mohammed. Very small market. You can see the only thing we track on Belleville is 3 bedrooms, but they're on the rise. Very jagged graph, and that's because there's such little inventory. The whole thing comes from rental surveys, I believe. So yeah, so that's Belleville on its way up. A 3 bedroom house right now rents for 2,807, and at the beginning of the year it was like 2,609. So rents are on the way up, so that's a good thing. But that's the best I can say about Belleville. Sudbury, I don't know if I got Sudbury. I don't think I do. Sorry, let me check. No, I don't. Sorry, I don't have Sudbury on this one. Who else? Ottawa. Yes. Sorry, Denise. I got Ottawa. I knew you wanted Ottawa. I got you covered. Okay, Ottawa is going quite well. You could see Ottawa, very smooth curve, but unlike the Barrie, unlike the Hamilton, where it was kind of smooth, flat, a little bit pointing down, this is smooth, flat, and kind of pointing up. So the 4 bedroom houses, 3,316. This is, and by the way, this happens in a you've noticed actually. I wanted to point it out earlier. This has happened on a couple different markets where 3 bedroom homes, 3 bedroom apartments rent for as much as 3 bedroom homes. That is if you have like a duplex or a triplex, like a 3 bedroom upper unit. I'm not saying 3 bedrooms in a sky, like in a high rise. That's different. But a 3 bedroom out of a duplex will rent for as much as a 3 bedroom home, which is essentially 2,675, Denise. And 2 bedrooms right now, 1,986 is the number. And let's take a look at the distribution. Look at upper 3 bedrooms. This is great, from 2,000 all the way up to 3,400. But I would comfortably say 3,100. Like that's the bulk of the distribution here. So this means there's a really strong upside rent potential in Ottawa, which means if you have a really nice 3 bedroom, you're trying to rent for 28, 2,900, the odds of you getting it are quite good because there's a lot of the market that's in the 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 3,000, 31, 3,200. It really skews to the right. Very, very, that's very good. Lots of strong upside rent potential in there. And also very strong upside rent potential in the 2 bedrooms. So the average here is 1,986 right now. But check this out. Like, look at this, 2,000. Look at that nice long right tail. That means strong upside rent potential. 2,000, 2,100, 2,200, 2,300, 2,400, 2,500. So I would not be like a premium rental, not a luxury rental, but a premium rental in Kingston would no doubt be able to rent for 22, 23, 24, 25. Denise, does that pretty much line up? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Thumbs up, thumbs down? Yeah, I got a head nod. I'll take it. And a thumbs up. Oh boy, I'll take both. Okay. Kingston. Let's see. I got Kingston on here. I was just in Kingston. We're doing a duplex conversion in Kingston right now. Going to be starting shortly. And love Kingston. Kingston for the longest time was not on Rain's top 10 report, but now it is. And it's fantastic. So here's Kingston. Kingston, a little bit of a smaller market, like smaller compared to Ottawa, smaller compared to Hamilton, smaller compared to Barrie, but very, very, very strong market. So 4-bedroom houses, as you can tell, definitely not as high as they've been. They've been as high as 3,400, and they are currently at 3,000, 2,980. 3-bedroom homes, 2,703. They're pretty much at the top of their market. 3-bedroom apartments, 2,475. They are on the downtrend. They were as high as 2,550 just a few at the beginning part of this year, actually just a month ago. February 2,550 on February 12th was the peak of that market. You're currently at 2,474. So that's not bad. That's just a normal market adjustment. Anything that is 50, 75, $100, that's a pretty normal market adjustment. 2 bedrooms are on their way up. They're not at their peak though. They peaked out at $2,000. They're currently at 1,875. But let's look at the distribution. Upper 3 bedrooms, look at this. Most of them are renting for 24, 2,500. Like half of the market, 50% of the market rents for 2,400 or 2,500. So if you're hoping to get that out of your property in Kingston, you're going to do very, very well. And I currently have, let me see, I have actually a lower 3-bedroom right now that we're about to rent. Beautiful, huge 3-bedroom. Should be renting this fall out of Kingston, and I'm targeting 2,400. I'm about to change my mind. So make a note, Mike. We're going to 2,500 because the market can support it. 2-bedroom lowers distribution is actually pretty nice bell curve right there. You're gonna get somewhere between 1,800 and 2,100 comfortably. But if you need like 23, 2,400 out of your 2-bedroom, the odds of you getting it are pretty slim. So yeah, that's Kingston. Pretty tight 2-bedroom distribution. Nice big 3-bedroom distribution. Not surprising, by the way. I also want to point that out. Any market that has a really strong student population, you will see that. The bigger the unit, the higher the rents. That's because the student rental impacts those numbers. Keep that in mind. Okay, Patrick, I don't know how many of these. I said I was going to be 15 minutes. I'm 23 minutes into this. I'm going to do this last one, Niagara, and then I'm done. This happens to me all the time. I don't even know why you put me on stage, dude. Like, here we go.
Because you got all the power. You got all the tools there, buddy.
Okay, so Niagara Falls. Now, Niagara Falls is so fascinating. I wish I can go back further because Niagara Falls was like, man, that market was just, it wasn't like great for the longest time, and it's picked up a lot of steam through COVID, and it's kept the steam quite well, I gotta say. So 4 bedrooms, about $3,000. 3-bedroom houses, 2,500. 3-bedroom apartments, 2,215, and 2-bedroom lowers, 1,733. One of the things you notice is so the 4 bedrooms are at the top of pretty much their peak, but not 3 bedrooms. There's room to run on the 3 bedrooms. Same with 3-bedroom apartments. I mean, they've been much higher than they've been 6, 7, 8% higher than they are now. And 2 bedrooms have room to run as well. Look at the distribution on upper 3 beds from 2,000 to 2,800. This is interesting. This is a really, really long tail. That's interesting. 2 bedrooms. This is a nice big distribution of 2 bedrooms, but it's quite low. See, there's a lot of 2 bedrooms, and that's the thing with Niagara. I'm not sure if how much you have in Niagara. I know I don't have a lot in Niagara, but I know there's a lot of lower end stuff in Niagara. And this is what Niagara was really known for back in the day. It would not command a lot of big rents. It wouldn't get the premium renter population. Now it seems like it's getting more premium stuff. Look, you're getting for a two-bedroom lower, 1,800, 2,000. That's pretty good. That's Niagara. That's great. Brent, thanks for that. That's awesome. So that's pretty much it, Patrick. Let me stop the share, but that's your rental market update for tonight. Hopefully we covered the market.